We do not serve a pharaoh. At one time, this man was the most powerful individual on the face of the planet. Some would say or argue that Caesar was more powerful. Caesar had a Senate to deal with. Caesar had a whole lot of little different leaders all around him that he had to contend with. Pharaoh had no such impediment. Pharaoh had counselors, but he was referred to as the morning and evening star. As he said it, so was it done. We do not serve Pharaoh. I'm seeing a spirit start to be revived in conservatives around this country, and I'm going to take today's video to rebuke it. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind, 2 Timothy 1:7. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints, 1 Corinthians 14:33. Pharaoh stood no chance against Almighty God. And if you serve Almighty God, you have nothing to fear from liberals or progressives or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Case in point, we're going to have a Super Bowl in Florida, Tampa Bay. It's going to be a heck of a party. If they try to bring their nonsense down here with all of the restrictions, they're going to get a rude awakening. We're going to have a good time one way or the other. I'm sure some people will wear masks. I'm sure some people won't. I've talked about Florida extensively. Some have said, not all 22 million voted for Donald Trump. All 22 million love their freedom. All 22 million love their freedom. If you love freedom, go to a state where they make that a priority. In my last video, I used some quotes from Peter Baelish and from Cersei Lannister, two characters from that series. I forgot one. This is from Eddard Stark, season 1. When he was held in a dungeon, he said, "You think my life is some precious thing to me that I would trade my honor for a few more years of what? You grew up with actors, you learned their craft, and you learned it well, but I grew up with soldiers. I learned how to die a long time ago." See, that's something people forget about Florida. It is completely full of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, guardsmen, guardians, both former and current. We don't live in a spirit of fear. But these 6 corporations are right now. Kohl's, H-E-B, Costco, BJ's, Kroger, Bed Bath & Beyond have decided that they want to try to cancel the MyPillow guy. Watch how bad it gets for them. And how fast it gets bad. Because we win every time we try. Every time we try, we win. 6 examples of a place not to shop. So you don't have to go on social media and announce you're not going to shop there, or threaten to not shop there. Just don't. Take your money elsewhere. Take your money elsewhere. Another dirty little secret the left doesn't want you to know. They're trying to bully the government into continuing to pay them to not work. They're trying to bully, and this is a meme that's going all over Facebook, by the way. It's from the SpongeBob. It was a series where it was kind of funny. It's kind of a complicated story, but basically they go and they bully this old man over and over again because they think he's doing something that he's not. And it's kind of appropriate. But they're trying to bully the government into paying them to not work. Meanwhile, conservatives in the red states lifting the restrictions, getting back to work, generating an income, which generates, by the way, income tax revenue for the federal government. Don't think that's lost on the federal government. Don't think that's lost on them. And if you want to continue to live in a spirit of fear, I would suggest you listen to a song from Vince Gill from years ago called Threaten Me with Heaven. Because that's how some of us see it at this point. Threaten me with heaven. I'd also want to give a shout out to Patriot Nurse again. Her Sunday live stream was amazing. I had a better image set up here, and of course it started playing as soon as I clicked over to the tab, so sorry about the image, but her live stream was absolutely fantastic last night. If you're not subscribed to the Patriot Nurse, if you're not following her, you're missing out. You're truly, truly missing out. There are so many people out there that want to say, oh, doom and gloom, and oh, be afraid, and oh, go hide in your bunker. It's time to retreat. The exact opposite is true. Another case in point. Supreme Court dismisses emolument cases against Trump. And this is CNN Politics. Now, they're not happy about it. But once again, wait a minute. I thought we were all supposed to be afraid. I thought we were all supposed to be in retreat. We were all supposed to be hiding back in our bunkers and going, into Alamo mode. No, this is not the time for that. If you're this person on the right, you're part of the problem. If you're that person on the right, you're part of the problem. You think he is hiding under a rock? I think he's done being in the spotlight for a minute after the last 4 years. But I don't think Donald Trump gets up every morning fearful for this or fearful for that. And if you're listening to people that are telling you this is the case, or always doom and gloom, giving you all these warnings about, oh, this is coming, oh, that's coming, oh, look out for the Second Amendment. Just to deal with Second Amendment real quick. To do anything with that would require the collusion of your local authorities. And I promise you, I am 110% sure that here in Florida, there would be no collusion with the federal government no matter what they would order. No matter what they would order. Even when then President Trump pushed all these red flag laws, we had localities that said, yeah, sorry, no, we're just not going to enforce it. We're just not going to enforce it. Yeah, it's the law. Yeah, it is what it is, but we're just not going to enforce it. Because God has not given us a spirit of fear. If you're coming away from listening to a video or listening to an influencer or listening to somebody that you trust with the spirit of fear, it's not God. If you're coming away with a spirit of power, a spirit of love, of peace, and of a sound mind, because that is what the fruit of the Spirit is it not? Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, meekness, gentleness. See, those are the fruit of the Spirit. That's how you know who's getting in your head. It's going to be a great time in Florida for the Super Bowl. It's going to be a great time. Now, to be very clear, I know there are things that go on at the Super Bowl that aren't Christian. I get that. I understand that. But that doesn't mean that good and decent Christian moral people can't get together and have a good time and bless each other and be joyful. The two things are not mutually exclusive. During the halftime show, change the channel. We'll change the channel. Maybe we'll watch Florida Maquis, find something in Antarctica, who knows? Probably not most people, but it would be nice. Maybe they'll watch The Patriot Nurse. Or maybe they'll just turn off the TV and talk to each other. There's a thought. And besides, even if that were the case, I think this man said it best. What would be the point? What would be the point? These places are going to pay a dear, dear cost for their idiocy. Because the people that made these decisions about MyPillow are clearly not living in the real world. They are clearly not living in the real world. Because in the real world, the people who have discretionary income are not the people sitting online saying, if you don't drop this brand, I'm not going to shop, blah, blah, blah. No. Not the case. Not the case. I ain't living in fear Pharaoh. Because we don't have a Pharaoh. We don't have a Pharaoh. Case in point, emoluments case dropped against Trump. Do you think if Pharaoh had wanted that to be the case, it wouldn't have been the case? Some equivalent thing from back then? He was Pharaoh. His father was Pharaoh. This is Ramses II. And even he could not defy God. You think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris rise to the power of a Pharaoh? You have no cause to live in fear. Like, share, subscribe.